Okay, so today we're going to learn how to do this. We have a post sitting in a draft mode, right? And we have an email address that we're using here to generate a notification as soon as the status is changed. So what we're going to do, click on quick edit, and we're going to turn this into publish. We're going to, use the post publish action hook to do this. And as soon as we save it, upgrade it to published mode, and watch what happens. An email arrives, and the email has all this information. Let's make it larger. We have the poster ID, the author ID. Basically, I'm calling it lister because it was a requirement from my application. So don't pay attention to that. Basically, what's happening is it's the author ID, author name, author email, and the post ID, post title, and post content. This will all be included in that notification email, and it will be triggered by the change of status to publish. So we're going to use this hook right here where it can take any status and any post type name, right? So in our case, we're trying to use this hook for publish status. So we're going to write publish underscore, and we're going to use it for post. So publish underscore post, and it's going to take two arguments, the post ID and the post object itself. So, and we're going to write the function to launch that notification email. And that being said, now let's go write the code. Okay, so we are at the WordPress backend at the code level, and this is the functions file, and let me show you the location. Here's the WP content, themes folder, and the theme name, and this is the function file right here. In the functions file, I'm going to go ahead and start with this line right here. I'm going to go ahead and require this file in the certain directory, and the file name is send notification at listpublish.php. And this is the file we're going to write our code in. And if we track it down, this is where it is. Theme folder, underscore functions, and necessary application name, and necessary topic. And right here, this is our file. And let's get started. Okay, we're going to start here by adding an action, just like that. Okay, so right here we are calling the hook publish underscore post, and this is going to be our function. So let's start writing the function. Okay, so we have our function structure, and now we're going to go ahead and collect some necessary information now that we have our post ID and the post object. So let's start collecting the author information. Okay, so this is how we just got the author ID. Now let's get the name and the email address. Okay, so one more thing we need to get is the post title. And since we have the post object, so it shouldn't be a problem. And now that we have all this information, so let's create a new variable called content. And this one will hold all our reporting, right? This is the one we're going to be sending via the email. This will fill up the notification. So inside here, let's start putting in all the necessary information, just like this. We already collected the author name, email right here, the post ID coming from here, title coming from here, and from the post object, we're collecting the content. Now that we have our content ready, let's go set up the email information. $2. Okay, So right now we have a to information. This is where the information will be going. That's my email address. And then in the subject, I'm just gonna put the title in, and the rest of the message will be all this content right here, this content variable. And headers, we're gonna keep it empty. And right here, we're gonna go ahead and call the WP mail and provide all the necessary information. And this concludes our function. Our add action is set. Let's save that. So now that our function is ready and we added that to the action publish post, so this is time we go ahead and test it. But before we do, let's just put in some HTML in here. For example, an HR instead of a static text line right here. I'm just going to use both just to see the output we get. And since I'm writing this locally, I'm going to have to sync up with my remote system, which is capable of email, because my local system is not. So let's do that. I'm right here in the folder, and I'm going to go. I use an excellent tool called WordMove, and I'm going to push that code to -T, because usually it's TUPD. T stands for the theme folder, U upload, P plugin, and D the database, right? So since this is only impacting the template folder, we don't need all these. Let's just sync it up. I've already created a video on this. You can go check that out, how I'm doing this. And if you're curious, please drop a line so that I can make video on this, how to use WordMove to sync with the remote system. So it looks like my code went through. Now let's go to the remote system and test it. Okay, we are at the remote system, and as you can see right here, the email has the old one, that one we used at the beginning. And now we're going to go ahead and change the status on this one, which is last time we did the first one, now the second one sitting in draft mode. So let's go to quick edit, change it to publish, and update, and keep an eye out. Boom, there you go, the new one came. So let's look at it. So here we can see it is not pretty as the one before, because this one actually using the HTML tags nicely and printing it, right? But this one, this new one, HR coming as tags. So something is happening that is not letting the HTML tag work. So let's go back into our code and see how to make that work. Okay, we're back at the code, and right above our main action function, I'm going to have to add another function here that will enable us to see HTML in action in our email. Here we're going to add a filter that will enable us to see HTML in our notification email, just like this. It's pretty much just WP mail content type, and here's the function we're calling and returning the type text/HTML. So with this, let's save this. And now that we know that our notification is capable of handling HTML, so let's prettify this block right here. Let's add some extra HTML code and a little bit of styling so that it looks pretty. Let's start right here. All right. So I just added some extra HTML. Let me walk you through this. It's pretty much everything remains the same, just wrapped around with like an H4 and some styling here, padding, some gray background color, and these titles turned into red. Very simple stuff. And some HRs that will create the horizontal line to separate these sections. That's all. Everything remains the same. This is our filter that will enable the HTML, and this is our add action, the publish post, all the necessary author information, content with HTML, and the email information with the WP mail function, everything remained the same. So let's save that and let's go back. As you can see here, we synchronized last time. Let's clear it up and synchronize one more time. All right, looks like it's done. Our new file is in the remote box. Now let's go back to the remote box and test it out. Okay, we are back at the remote system. Our code should be synchronized by now, and as you can see, last two times we changed the status of these two posts, and now we're gonna change the third one. And at this time I'm gonna go ahead and remove all these so that we can start fresh. And now let's go to quick edit. Let's change the status to publish. Keep an eye out here, update, and there you go. Our new email has arrived, and this time when we open it, it's as pretty as it can get. All the HTML in place, all the styling in place, and it has all the necessary information like author ID, author name, email address, post ID, post title, and the content. And this concludes this video. If you like this video, please smash the like button and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please smash the like button and the subscribe button. This will help me bring more free contents like this to you every week. Thanks again.